What is going on, my disciples? Warfare Messiah here, and today we are going to be defending the island of Iwo Jima from the tyrannical American forces not far out to sea in the next episode of Battle Report. So we're back on War Thunder, and we're flying today the quite infamous and excellent fighter, the A6M2 Mitsubishi Zero. Now, I, compared to the American aircraft, have a rather weak armament, and I'm not a very durable aircraft. So I don't want to be going head on. That's not what I want to do. I want to be forcing my enemy into a turn fight because I am fast and I am extremely maneuverable. So, let's go kill as many of those American scum as we possibly can. Now, the first thing that happens is I notice a rather large black speck in the clouds. So I head towards it because it must be an American aircraft. And that is when it turns out to be an American Black Widow P-61 night fighter. So immediately I do look like I've hit something pretty important, so I disengage to avoid his 50 caliber fire, which he's now responded with. So I'm now keeping an eye on him to make sure, you know, he's going down. Fire a few more rounds, and already I've run out of cannons. So I'm down to my rather weak machine guns. So I am not likely to finish him off with these guns. I'm just going to have to hope that the damage that I've already inflicted upon his aircraft has crippled him enough so that he crashes into the sea. And just as I'm following him down, I start taking enemy fire from behind. Now, I look back and oh bother, an American fighter. So I'm going to have to disengage the P-61 or the Black Widow, hope he crashes later, or at least he's not going to be much use in the fight now, and then I lose the American fighter that was on my... But I can just hear 50 caliber fire in the background, so he must still be behind me. So I just loop over, back round, and he has he makes the only move where he could have escaped that, and he pulls up. So I'm trying to get back on his tail, the enemy Corsair, and I do manage. And I do score some hits there, but as I said, the Zero has a weak armament and I've run out of cannons. So I'm down to machine guns, and I'm trying my very best to shoot him down. That was the P-61 Black Widow that just crashed, so we had inflicted enough damage and it had crashed. But now I've got other problems. This American fighter was trying to shoot me down before, and if I disengage, he'll get back on my tail, and I'm pretty sure he still has lots of 50 caliber rounds left. So I keep firing my little pop guns that don't do much damage. But I want to keep him as worried as possible because he doesn't know I'm only firing the 7.7s. Luckily, a friendly Zero does come in and save the day. Now, I only have about 400 of these rather weak machine gun rounds left, and I have, you know, done my bit in so far. So I think it would be a good idea now to return to base and resupply. Now, I do spot an American aircraft not far in the distance, luckily, because I think he was going a bit fast, and he couldn't pull up on time. He crashed into the ground, so now I don't have a problem with landing on the airfield, because it could have been a rather large problem I had on my hands if there was an American aircraft in the vicinity. There's nothing worse than getting vultured. It's the worst way to be killed, getting killed on the ground when you're completely powerless to prevent anything. So I've touched down, I'm rearming, and then we're going to take the fight back to those Yanks. Now, as soon as I take off, there's an American aircraft encroaching on our Japanese Imperial airspace. So I move in to engage, and oh no thank you, don't want to go head on, I'm in a Zero. So I'll just roll, dodge his rounds, get onto his 6, Sorted. So now I'm moving into engage, and he looks like he's banking to the left. So this would be my chance to catch up to him, because I've just drained a lot of speed by turning, and he turns right in front of me. I fire away, and then I pull off just in time, because you do not want to play head-on with a Japanese aircraft, especially not this one. It's a dogfighter. It is not. It does not work in a head-on. So then another American P-47 joins the fray, and the battle has been taken completely to our airfield. So I move in to try and fire on the P-47, all the while hearing engines of other aircraft in the background. It's really quite scary. And he looks like he's just outspeeding me a bit too much. So I turn my attention to some of the other American aircraft that are behind me. And it's a good thing I did, because someone was firing at me right there, and most of what I'm doing is just avoiding a head-on. Now, I came very close to a collision there, but I was quite confident that I could turn on the inside of this plane, and I just managed it. So I do spot a potential victim. I fire from range, critical hit, and he's not recovering from that, straight into the ground. Good kill, and then I move on to my next American victim in the name of the Emperor. So he tries to go for a head-on with someone else, realises at the last second that I'm his biggest threat, but it was too late. I managed to finish him off. And now, that enemy P-47 is the only aircraft that I need to worry about. He's the last enemy aircraft. So, I move into engage.
Oh, hell no, if you think I'll play chicken, think again, fat boy.
So I managed to get onto the tail of my American foe, but the reason he has stayed alive so long, till he's the last American aircraft, is because he's not trying to dogfight. You can't dogfight a Japanese aircraft unless you're in one of equal maneuverability, such as the Spitfire or the Hurricane maybe, and he knows that he can't, so he's just went off well into the distance to escape from me, giving himself plenty of time to turn around and come back and try for another chicken. But all I have to do is continue to avoid his chickens. So I'm tempting him to turn around by presenting a target, by showing, you know, I'm baiting him for this Ki-27 to take, and I turn around when it's too late for him to turn around, and as he goes for the Ki-27, I open up, and he collides with the Ki-20. He shoots down the Ki-27, but he collides with it, and then crashes into the ground because his pilot was unconscious. And as for us, there is another glorious victory for the Japanese Empire, and the enemy tickets are draining. I'm landing my damaged plane because I've got some damaged flaps and I've over pushed my engine a bit, but I managed to touch down just before the end of the game.